Good evening and welcome to the virtual briefing for the Blue Fire. Our current stats currently are 1,236 acres with a 0% containment. And currently there are 375 firefighters on the fire, but more are showed up today. There's more on ordered. And some of the equipment that has been showing and working the fire line are fire engines, dozers, masticators, and several helicopters, including the large Type 3 helicopters and Type 1 helicopters. If you are watching this virtually, if you have questions, please put it into the comments and we will get to the answers as soon as we can. And also we can answer those questions tomorrow when we have a live community meeting at the Syad Fire Department. And with that, we will start off with the Klamath National Forest Agency Administrator, Megan Solis.
Hello and good evening, everybody. My name is Megan Solis. I am the Agency Administrator Trainee here on the Klamath National Forest. I'm actually a District Ranger on the Goose Nest. So I just wanted to send a thank you out to the folks that are able to join us online tonight. This meeting is really set up and designed for you guys, for us to be able to get the information out to you as soon as possible in a timely manner. So just wanted to throw my thanks out there. We're going to have quite a few speakers tonight to give us some updates of where the fire's at and how it's going. So I appreciate your comments as you drop those in. We'll get to them as soon as we can, right at the end of that half hour, I believe is what the plan is. So again, thank you for being here and look forward to your guys' questions.
Thank you, Megan. And next we will have fire weather with James White.
Hey, good evening, everyone. My name is James White. I'm the Instant Meteorologist currently assigned to the Blue Fire. My job here as the Instant Meteorologist is to provide very localized, on-the-ground weather observations and forecasting that aids in both strategic and tactical planning, but most importantly, ensures public and firefighter safety for everyone there on the ground. Talking a little bit about the weather that we've seen on the Blue Fire over the past couple days. It's been relatively mellow through the weekend. We had a lot of smoke that settled in there, shaded the fire. Conditions were very stable, or what we call stable. That means air was not mixing out of the area, helped shade things, keep things a little bit cooler. And we started today really moist, some of the best relative humidity recoveries overnight that we've seen since the fire started. That started to change today, however. We had much better mixing today. The conditions were more unstable. What that means is it allowed the smoke to start mixing out of there, allowed more sunlight on the fuels, allowed things to dry out a little bit more. So even though we started the day moist, things have quickly dried back out. Relative humidities this afternoon from weather stations close to the fire are close to around 15% or so. Our temperatures are back into the mid-90s today, and we're having a little bit of enhanced southwest winds on the fire. Same direction this fire's been seeing since it started, but it just happened to be a little bit stronger today. Now, we do have increasing fire weather concerns as we go over the next 24 hours, which will be really critical for us. The National Weather Service in Medford, which covers the Blue Fire area, has issued a red flag warning for the area that covers the Blue Fire. What that means is that we're expecting weather conditions tomorrow that could be conducive to critical or extreme fire behavior. The conditions we are looking for are there's several of them encompassed within that red flag warning. The most confident one is that tomorrow will be very hot and dry. We're looking at highs returning to around 100 degrees or more. Relative humidity is going to be once again in the mid-teens. It's going to be extra unstable tomorrow. That's number 2, and that is also a very high confidence variable in there. And there's going to be multi-levels of that instability. And what I mean by that is when we look at the atmosphere, it's not just what we feel at the ground, but also what's happening above us. Oftentimes when we have instability, it's unstable at the ground. We can mix that smoke out, but it can't go a whole lot further than that. Tomorrow is a little bit different. We are going to have that instability at the ground, but we're also looking at it coming together with instability up high that's coming from a weather system that's passing our area. Those two things combined allows us to not only move all that smoke out of here and allow that sun on the fuels, but it gives the fire room to breathe. It allows it to do its own thing, and it has the potential to really have those tall smoke columns, perhaps fire plumes, and that kind of thing. So that's what we're really concerned about, is the potential for that to occur. In addition to that, the red flag warning was also issued for dry thunderstorms in the area. That's a little bit lower confidence, but should those thunderstorms occur, and they are relatively likely over the blue fire, they're throwing out a 15 or 20% chance. That might not sound very high, but when we talk about thunderstorms, it is pretty high relative to what we normally forecast. Should they occur, they could occur right over the fire or to the east. They're most likely to occur right to the east of the fire, and they most likely occur early in the evening. Any of those thunderstorms would be mostly dry. They could have lightning that could cause new starts, but it's also dangerous to firefighters and folks on the ground directly. And they would have gusty outflow winds. So any of those outflow winds could be 40, 50 miles an hour outflowing from those thunderstorms. The dangerous thing about those winds is that they are sudden, they're erratic, and they could come from any direction, depending on where that thunderstorm is. Part of my job here is to watch for those possibilities closely and get those messages out as quickly as possible to the folks on the ground to ensure their safety, and that's certainly what I'll be doing tomorrow. As we move beyond tomorrow, I know that's a lot of talk about tomorrow, we are going to maintain very hot, dry conditions and moving out some of that smoke. However, we're losing that upper level instability I talked about. Things are backing off just a little bit. So it will remain hot and dry, still elevated concern, but not nearly as large a concern as Tuesday is. And that's where our focus is going to remain for the next 24 hours.
Good evening. My name is Stuart Turner. I'm the fire behavior analyst for the team. As the fire behavior analyst, what I do for the team is I predict what the fire is going to do, where it's going to go, and how fast it's going to get there. And I'm looking at three things out there. I'm looking at the topography, the hills, the mountains, the canyons. I'm looking at the fuels. And the fuels I'm concerned with are the fine dead fuels. These are the very small, less than quarter-inch in diameter fuels. The twigs, the blades of grass, the pine needles, the leaves. That's what these large forest fires move through the landscape on. And they're extremely dry right now because of the weather you just heard about. And I also look at the weather. The weather is very important for us because they dry those fuels out, and then those winds tend to push the fire around. You also heard the meteorologist talk about the unstable atmosphere we're going to have tomorrow. And that's very much like the firebox on your wood stove. When you close the damper off, that fire goes down and gets less and less and less. As soon as you open it up, give it more oxygen, it flares up and really starts roaring inside there. Well, we're going to open that damper up tomorrow with that weather, and that fire is going to ventilate and start to grow. So let's take a look at the blue fire where I think we're going to see the most growth. Let's talk about tonight, this evening, and tonight first. What's going to happen on the blue up to the north? This is downslope, and what happens is as the night progresses, we start to get downslope winds. The fuels are dry, the humidity is dry here, and so it starts to drag the fire down, pushing it downslope to the north. And that's going to continue through the night tonight until the fuels moisten up early in the morning tomorrow morning. I think we'll see about a half a mile of growth with that kind of movement just tonight. Around the fire tonight, the other spots will just back around. Don't anticipate a lot of movement. It'll back down into Walker Creek and spot down in there. But then tomorrow, as we ventilate this, when that smoke ventilates and moves out, it's going to start to produce that column, and that column development will accelerate the growth of the fire and accelerate the speed at which the fire will grow. And I think what we're going to see is that wind in the column and all will start pushing the fire hard to the north. Spotting will start to occur. We're going to predict spotting out to a mile tomorrow with the wind speeds and the column development, and we'll start to see spotting out to the north and northeast. We'll get spotting down into Walker Creek and East Walker Creek drainages. Here on the south end of the fire, I don't think we're going to see a lot of growth there. The wind will help hold that back. But off to the west, they will see more growth as it backs down into the Salt Creek drainage, the No Name Creek drainage, and the Bark Shanty Creek drainage. As it gets into those, it's going to find fresh fuel in there, make some upslope runs, and produce a lot of smoke and columns tomorrow. So the thing you can expect tomorrow, we'll start the day off smoky, inversion. Midday, that inversion starts to lift. You'll start to see a column develop off the fire and expect to see movement around the fire perimeter. And I'll hang around if you have any questions about fire behavior. Thank you.
Evening, Jason Prentice, Air Resource Advisor. One of my roles here on the fire is to look at smoke and its air quality impacts, not just for crews and overhead here on the incident, but also for you all, the general public. Looking at the Blue Fire specifically, Syad Valley, due to its close proximity, is going to continue to see that unhealthy air quality. At times they may even reach very unhealthy, but we are looking at times where we may see some improvement. One of those may be tomorrow afternoon, as we heard our folks ahead of me just talk about. As that inversion lifts, we get good mixing, we may see that improvement occur there. Moving along further east along the river, folks like towards Hamburg, they'll continue to see that unhealthy air quality as well. Further east out towards that Klamath River community and out towards I-5 corridor, they'll also continue to see impacts, unhealthy at times, but also getting good clearing in the afternoon, moderate air quality for the most part. Smoke from that Blue Fire has also continued to settle down the Scott River corridor, down in towards Quartz Valley, Scott Valley, and down towards Etna. All of those folks may also continue to see unhealthy at times, but thankfully in the afternoon we are still looking at good to moderate air quality for the next couple of days. Quick look back to the west. Happy Camp is going to continue to be influenced by both fires. With that, continue to see unhealthy at times, but again, some improvements for the evening and overnight hours into moderate to even unhealthy for sensitive groups. For other locations, current air quality information, as well as the smoke forecast that get issued every morning, you can see all of that at fire.airnow.gov. Thanks.
Thanks for that info. Next, we will have fire operations for an update on plans.
Hey, good evening, everybody. My name's Josh Eichhammer. I'm one of the operations section chiefs here with California Interagency Incident Management Team 1. I'm going to walk you around the map here on the Blue Fire and talk a little bit about our current actions to date and a little bit about our planned actions moving into tomorrow. So first off, the Blue Fire, the Klamath National Forest has provided us some clear intent. This is a full suppression fire, meaning that we're going to go direct where we can and contain this fire to the smallest possible footprint. Where we can't go direct, we will use a confine and containment strategy, again looking for that smallest possible box that we can put this in. So as the fire has progressed, firefighters did pull back a couple days ago due to increased fire behavior, high density snags from the 2014 fire scar, making operations really dangerous going direct. As firefighters did that, they pivoted to a strategy of protecting the critical values at risk in this area. So number one value for us and the task that we have for the folks that are out there is to protect the community of Syad and the structures, people and people stuff basically in this area. We really want to make sure that wherever this fire goes that we're prepared for that. So what the public may be seeing is a lot of fire engines coming into their community well ahead of the fire to make sure that we're prepared for that should this fire move down into town. You can anticipate that effort over the coming days, and if you see fire engines pulling into your home or into your property, your driveway, take a moment, say hi. Feel free to chat with them about what your property is and what they might need to be thinking about if they're in there having to defend it. So again, preparations are going on in the general area, Grider Creek, Walker Creek, Syad Valley, and we'll be continuing that effort for days to come, making sure that we're prepared should this fire progress. Coming into the fire specifically itself, there are some efforts continuing along Walker Ridge, looking at opportunities to go direct. Again, we got pushed out over the last day or two, but we're still looking at where we might be able to go direct and keep this out of Grider Creek. With that said, should the fire progress down into Grider Creek towards the PCT, we have taken action and moved resources up to Grider Ridge and started to open up existing dozer lines there should we need to use that as an indirect containment feature for that fire to the west. Looking more specifically to the east side of this fire, we have resources that have moved up to Slinkard Ridge, and firefighters are actively engaged in opening up indirect containment lines along Slinkard Ridge to the north and south, again, to use as a containment feature. They're still working on details of how we're going to bring that back down and close the door around the north end of this thing, and working out details as to where we're going to go to the south of this fire. So firefighters are actively engaged in scouting and coming up with plans. We've been using aviation where and when we can aggressively to aid in slowing the progress of the fire and allowing firefighters to get in there and do work. And again, I will be available after this meeting, like the rest of folks, to answer any questions. That's end of report for operations. Thank you.
And let's go with leaders' intent from our IC.
Good evening, everyone. Sorry, Jerry McGowan, our other incident commander, is otherwise busy right now, but I am one of your incident commanders as well, Kristen Allison from California Incident Management Team 1. I wanted to thank you again for your engagement tonight. Our goal here is to make sure that you have an avenue to get all of the information as it is happening. We're doing that by holding these meetings both virtually and in person. Our next in-person meeting will be tomorrow night at the fire station, and then every other night we'll have virtual ones here online. We are also making sure that we have operational updates that are posted in the morning and in the evening. We have smoke messages as well as messaging within the community and trap lines. So if you're not getting information or you need to find out where you can get information, please reach out to any of our public information officers. We are here to serve you. So please let us know how we can do that and if we need to increase that or change that or make sure that everybody is getting that information. With that, I look forward to our question and answer and our continued conversation with you.
And with that, we did not have any questions that came in earlier, but please, if you want to put questions in the comments right now, we will get them answered tomorrow. And a reminder of tomorrow's community meeting in person at the Syad Fire Station. And like RAC said, we're sharing information on the Klamath National Forest Facebook page, NC Web, and Watch Duty is also a good resource to see the information that's coming out. And with that, we will conclude this virtual meeting. Thank you.